Hi, everyone. I'm James Protin. I'd like to give a special thank you to our sponsors for the podcast. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We are at Chico Bocello in Cannonsburg, back in the friendly confines of our remote mobile studio. And we have a great show for you today on a lot of different levels. One is my co-host today, the lovely Melissa, who has saved Nick and I's lives and is going to make this podcast a million times better than what we ever could. And Melissa Migliaro, thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you here finally.
Thanks for having me back.
And we have some great guests today this is episode number 36. And our guests today are Vivien Luk, the executive director, and Richardson Antoine, first mile impact manager at Work. Work is a nonprofit, a great organization that is doing something really cool that I wasn't aware of, and I'm glad I'm learning more about it. And this story is going to be fantastic. But the team at Work believes, and I got this right from their website, so I didn't make this stuff up, but they believe every individual has potential, which is what we believe, right? There's good in everybody. Everybody has an opportunity. And what the organization's mission is to accompany families in Haiti out of poverty through good, dignified jobs. So this gets no better than that. So Vivien Richardson, thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you here. And I am so excited to hear your story, not only of the organization, but of the two of you as well, and how this all came together.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here today with you all and at this amazing coffee shop. It's beautiful and it's a really cool neighborhood spot that we love. We, as an organization, we work to end poverty through good dignified jobs. We focus our work, initially we started in Haiti. The core part of our work is still there and we'll continue to grow our work there as we expand to other countries as well.
Okay, great.
And our mission is to affect change at the very individual level, individuals and families with a holistic approach of addressing poverty.
Okay.
The root causes of poverty, how do people get there, and how do we address those root causes so that we can accompany them into financial independence forever. As our work was beginning to grow and we're trying to figure out and get our hands wrapped around how do we structure a model to end poverty through good dignified jobs in Haiti, we were also finding opportunities to figure out what kinds of jobs we place our team members, our family members into. We looked around the country for opportunities and found opportunity in waste. And so the focus of our work in providing accompaniments to our families to end poverty through jobs is starting with what we call wraparound service approach to get them out of the hole. So essentially a lot of families that come to us with mountains of debt, come to us with situations that haven't been addressed in the past because of poverty. So lots and lots of illnesses that have been ignored, kids who haven't been able to go to school in consistent years, and then lack of training, workforce training and development opportunities, and then job placement. And so we address all of those needs first and foremost, and then we also address opportunities in the waste sector, in entrepreneurship, so that we can help them structure jobs, in collaboration with them to structure jobs that make sense for them, that also accompanies them into financial independence forever. Our goal is to accompany each and every single one of our family members until they no longer need us. And so whether that takes 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, however long.
So you don't stop at the placement in a job.
Correct, right. And we don't stop with just the one family member. We stop when the entire family is out of poverty.
Okay.
Yes.
In everything you described, a lot of those are generational issues.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a lot to overcome.
Yes. Even quite simply as, when we first started our work and we started talking with all our families about jobs. Everyone would say, I would love to have a job. I would love to work in a 9-to-5. And, the first cohort of families that were placed into a 9-to-5, they said, 9-to-5 is great, but it's so hard. I've never experienced this before.
Right.
And, and it's because they there hasn't been that opportunity.
Sure.
The idea of it is exactly what they want, but it's really about the consistent pay, the dignity in having a
Right.
place to go to every day where you feel like you're fulfilling a purpose.
Yes.
Right. And being able to bring that money home and put food on the table, take care of your family, ensure that your family has a roof over their heads. Right. That's the idea that we're trying to address with them. And so whatever that 9 to 5, what form it comes in today, that's what we're shooting for.
Okay.
And so, in structuring work in Haiti, as I mentioned, we started to look into the waste sector because there's just an abundance of waste in the country when we first started our work, and very little infrastructure, formal waste infrastructure to address it. And so we started to look into what can we do with the waste material? How can we bring value to that waste material? What does that take? And structured an initiative called the First Mile, where we're working in the very first mile of waste material supply chains. Turns out there's also millions of informal waste collectors around the world who are already spending their day-to-day collecting this material out of the environment, in Haiti, out of landfills, out of the canals, out of rivers, in
Haiti's an island.
communities.
Okay,
Yes.
let's state the obvious here. Okay,
Yes.
Haiti's an island, so everything, all of the waste, solid and otherwise, goes directly into the ocean.
Yes,
Right?
yes, exactly.
And we know that oceans move, right? They're not stagnant. It's not like this, it doesn't just hover around the island of
Yeah.
Haiti.
Yeah.
So once that gets into the stream, I mean, it travels literally around the globe.
Exactly.
So it's a global initiative in what you guys are doing.
Exactly. Yes. So, Richardson actually has been managing this project since the very beginning.
Sure.
So I'd love for you to talk about, what it's like in Haiti in terms of the waste challenge, the infrastructure, and what we've built.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My name is Richardson Antoine. I am the impact manager for work. So I work along with our families that we're supporting in some communities, specifically in Menelas and Trutier. And
And you're Haitian by birth. You
I
grew up-
am Haitian. I'm Haitian born. So
Okay.
I am a local staff that come here
Excellent.
and share my experience and how we're working in a supply chain in Haiti, the collection
Okay.
chain. Well, we work with the collectors, and Haiti is there's lack of infrastructure and recycling, and the waste collection is kind of is like a big thing for the country, for a small country where the infrastructure is very low,
Right.
and people consider the collection as a resource, and that's something that they have never dealt with. So knowing that we can transform the waste into something where they can feed their family, they can have a resource to put food on the table, means and pay school for their children, means
Right.
a lot to them. So we work alongside with
It's everything.
Absolutely. And it's a very poor country, and there is lack of jobs, and find a way to create this opportunity for 100,000 of people is a real individual, independent people. So we're not hiring.
What is the population of Haiti?
Haiti is about 10 and 11 million people.
Okay, and I think Vivien, you mentioned that the unemployment rate is around 60%, and that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
In an island situation, right, where you're contained, you're
Yes.
self-contained, and to have over half of your population unemployed, that is not even remotely manageable by any stretch.
Sure, absolutely, and that's why we need an organization like that come to the field, going to the communities, asking the people what's the problem that they're facing, and in turn, this what we consider as trash in Haiti into an opportunity for a whole family.
Right.
So they're independent individual working and make sure that they get the material that they need just to put a roof over their head and food on the table for their children. So having this meeting with people that can support us to give access to those people on sustainable job means a lot as they're feeling alone
Right.
in the island.
Right.
So-
And so you're basically solving two problems. You're providing us one solution, solving two problems.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
The waste stream, you're cleaning up the waste stream, and you're empowering it and supporting people, families, entire families. This is amazing, and I'm almost embarrassed that I have never heard of you before, because this is something that we all need to be a part of. This is a global initiative that benefits humanity on so many different levels.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'll add too, and I kind of want to touch on something Viv said earlier about the wraparound services, because I hear that term often here in the States, but I'd love to know what those wraparound services look like for your families, and where do you get those resources that are stepping in to give that wraparound coverage?
Yeah, and it really started when we first started our work. We spent the first few years with just 6 families. We
Okay.
said, if we can address the issues, the biggest challenges that these 6 families have, and accompany them to financial independence, we have no business in being around as an organization. And so we wanted to work with them, partner with them to figure out what is it that they need, how can we support them, how can we address the issues that they're facing today. And what we did was, and Richardson mentioned this briefly, that it's really a partnership with them in asking them consistently and what is it that they need, coming up with solutions together, and then committing to making sure those solutions exist. And so over the course of the first few years, we found that there were issues of neglect of health issues, which is generally how those 6 families first came to us. We had a child who had a tumor. We had a couple of kids who had majorly neglected issues where they came to us with dire emergencies, and that if they weren't solved in the next set amount of time, that they would have passed away.
And not to sidetrack you, but in that moment, those families are only focused on that ill child.
Exactly.
Right. So work is second, everything else is second.
School is second. For families where maybe they only have enough money to send one child to school, the rest were at home. And that was happening a lot. We were seeing that majority of our kids were 4 years behind in school when they first come to us. That our parents were making about $30 a month as a household. And the household's typical size is about 6.
And your focus at that point is survival.
Yes.
You're not worrying. You're not thinking down the road. You're not thinking next week. You're trying to survive.
Yep, exactly. And, never mind the fact that in the middle of the night, if it rains, your entire family's standing in a corner because there's leaks in your house. Never mind that there are days where, the parents aren't eating meals. Period, right? It's about that dire emergency, but then it's that emergency has been consistent. It's always an emergency, right? And so how do we start?
All the time.
Right,
I mean,
all the time.
That becomes a lifestyle.
Yes, exactly. So how do we start by filling in that hole? And sometimes that it means supporting forgiving large amounts of debt because they have been borrowing money to put food on the table or send their kids to school. Sometimes that means addressing that illness in the first place and then providing consistent access to medical care. And then always it was putting all the kids back into school and making sure that they had enough supplemental support to catch up and also to succeed in school. And then once all of those are taken care of, then we start to address the skill sets of the parents and what kinds of work they can be placed into in the future. So we start by, it's a holistic approach of wraparound service that allows us to address all of the basic needs of each of the families so that they can then work towards success on their own and dictate what that success means for themselves too.
Right.
So we lean on
They get
partners.
to define it, which is amazing in itself.
Yes.
To have that, again, the word you use is dignity, and that's what it's all about. To be able to define what my version of success is.
Yes.
Nobody has to agree with me.
Yep.
Right. That's dignity at its very core.
Yep, exactly. And for us as an organization, we because we have partner with enough families now, we know that if we can address those few basic needs for the families, medical access, consistent access to medical care, education for children. In Haiti, households can spend up to 30 to 40% of their income on just education because it's 95% private. And so it costs so much money for kids to go to school that a lot of times...
I was going to ask you what the education system is like in Haiti. Is it consistent? But if it's 95% private, then it pretty much would have to be.
Yes.
Is a lot of it faith-based?
Yes. Lots of faith-based organizations that have started school. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about the education system.
Yeah, the education system is really low. And as Vivien mentioned, it's 95% private. And not any family really able to afford, going to sending their children to school. So when we're having organization that support a family to go to school, because basically a family would like to see, I am from Haiti, I am Haitian born. The hope of my family is to see that I can be someday going to school and be in Pittsburgh this morning to talk about education. That's what every family is looking for, having someone that can represent them.
Well, you represent literally, and this is going to sound dramatic to some people watching this, but I don't think it will be to you, but you literally represent the hope of an entire country. Sitting here today talking about this, right? Because you came through that system, you came through all of that, and I'm sure that it wasn't easy for you either. So when you think about the fact that you're here, you're involved with this organization, and you are here telling this story, that's an amazing journey in itself.
Absolutely. I remember I've been in the landfill in a community that we're usually working in. And then I met with some kids. One of them is a leader of our youth programming. So when we have a meeting with the kids, he's the one that go to everyone's house, says, hey, we have a meeting today. We have to go to the room class. And then I was telling them that, and he was looking at me, hey, Richardson, you speak English very well. I would like to be Richard. I was telling him, hey, today I am the impact manager. Someday it might be you. Since then, it started learning English because we have a course in our programming. And he said, wow, I would like to be part of this family. He said, we're already part of it. Yeah. So we would like to see you growing. And someday it will not be myself or our team in Haiti. We need to, that's why we're talking earlier, empowering people, giving hope to the kids that, hey, we're not only here to give, but we would like to see you grow. You would like to see you educated so that we can represent your family and in your whole community and come back to serve that community.
Yeah.
So investing in people from education is the biggest investment that anyone can
Absolutely.
can do.
And I think
Absolutely.
empowerment is huge. I said earlier, family and empowerment stands out to me with what you guys do through the mission. But I know you're able to do what you do because of partnerships that you make. So I would love for either of you or both of you to talk about how do you find those partnerships and how do you establish those relationships and maintain them to help bridge that gap from partnerships here in the United States to...
Yeah, I think from the very beginning of our work, when we first started the organization, it was because of the need of a kid, a medical need of a child that we met. And we thought, maybe what we could focus our work in is in medical care. But then we looked around Port-au-Prince and we found that there's an abundance of great hospitals, some of them lacking resources and infrastructure, but we didn't need to start a new hospital. We didn't need to start a new clinic. And so how do we support them so that they can do their best work while we fill in the gaps? And what are those gaps? And so we spent a lot of time asking them, what are the gaps we can address so that the families that they're serving could be successful? And that gap was really in the accompaniment process, in that when their patients come to them, a lot of times they can't afford the initial fee of getting into the door. But if they can do that, they can't afford the fee then to buy the medication. Or having food at home so that they can take medication, or coming back for a second appointment. So a lot of times they see a dropout rate after the first appointment, and then they get them back and it's an emergency. And so how can we help them address that need? And so every step of the way we found partners that were doing things that, we were looking for experts. We wanted to see who are the experts out there who are addressing the needs that our families are facing? How can we partner with them and how can we fill in the gaps? And so when it comes to schools, looking for the schools that were the best in the country who would want to partner with us, who can address the needs of our kids. But then when it comes to also in the recycling in the waste sector, we were looking for partners who could utilize that material back into their products in a long-term setting so that we're not producing more and more new waste into the waste stream, but we're able to take that and reuse that material. And so we found a partner, a local recycling facility that was just getting started. We partnered with them to build up their capacity so that they can accept more material and deliver a high quality product on the other end, so that we can also bring in brands who are looking for material to insert into their products as well.
Talk about a little bit about the end product of the material. What are you? It's easy to say, okay, we recycle and reuse. What's the reuse? What are you taking plastic to
And maybe some of the brands
Yes.
might be interesting too.
Yeah. So we partner with brands specifically who are using the recycled material into their products. So HP is our very first partner in Haiti, one of our very first partners in Haiti. Today, over 50, 60 of their products is made with Haitian material,
It's excellent.
material collected from Haiti. So from monitors to ink cartridges was the first one, to printers, etc.
Okay.
You can find a lot of products of
That's
theirs
fascinating.
with,
No one would ever think that when they're printing or on their monitor.
It is.
exactly.
And honestly, it's a way for the average person to help is, by knowing who these companies
Yes.
are and buying those products,
Right.
you're then becoming part of the supply chain, and you're
Yes, and the consumer power, right?
Right.
So
Exactly right.
exactly. So when they first realized that their customers care, they care that the products are made
Right.
from responsibly sourced material that has a real story behind it. You'll
big
see
deal.
if you buy ink cartridge from HP, there's a story of one of our collectors on it.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And that collector's kids are now in school. That collector is now a business owner who has provided opportunities to other collectors. And that's how that product transforms lives, right? And so HP is one of them. CPI Card Group, they're a company that makes credit cards for companies like US Bank, who's also one of our partners.
Okay.
So if you go to US Bank and you're opening up an account, you can actually choose a card that's made from recycled material from Haiti as well. But those are the ways that consumers can have power to shape how we live in this world today,
change
how we
lives.
contribute to this world today, right? Whether or not
Right.
waste material exists in the ocean or not, there's that power. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would like to add something as we were talking about HP and how these brands can put value on the material. And in 2017, we have the dark colors of the PET bottles. It was 0.1 cents. It was like 1 cent. So the collectors, the waste pickers, were not interested in collecting them because the price was really, really low. That's on that point that HP came in, then they doubled the price and quadrupled the price. Then all the collectors got back to the landfill, to their kennels, and started collecting that material again. And that's those material right now that
Right.
HP are using to make the cartridge. So just to let you understand that having good brands that want to big partnership with the work that we're doing can put value on the material recyclable that we have gathering on the streets and canals in Haiti can make a great difference for the whole collection network.
It's a huge difference.
And not only that, right? We did in the very beginning let them know that here's what collecting in the landfill looks like, and here are the individuals who collect in the landfills. They're not just adult collectors, but there are tons of children.
Yes.
Because of the state of poverty in a place like Haiti,
Right.
and in the place that a landfill, an open landfill in the country. And we said to them, we as an organization are not going to abandon these kids. We're going to say, how do we actually utilize our wraparound service approach to support these children? We understand that a lot of brands out there would shy away from addressing big issues like child labor right off the bat. But we
Right.
ask that you join us in this effort, because what we can do is solve this problem together instead of ignoring this
Absolutely.
problem. And they jumped in right away. They said, we're in, we'll fund the very first cohort of students to go back to school and the entire program. To this day, 6 years later, they're still our major funder on our program to eliminate child labor and workers in the supply
That's
chains.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yes.
And so you go to Staples and you buy this specific printer cartridge, which you need, which is a necessity, and you're literally transforming a life.
Exactly. You're providing an opportunity for somebody else to put food on the table for their family,
Yes.
to send their kids to school, to put a roof over their heads.
And one thing we think of when we think of philanthropy and giving of any kind in this country, we think big, right? So you're not a philanthropist unless you're giving $100,000 to this or $1 million to that. When really you go out and you buy that ink cartridge
Yes.
for your printer.
Yes.
Guess what? You're a philanthropist because
Yes.
you're improving somebody's life.
Yep. Exactly. And you're telling these brands who don't necessarily have to use recycled material.
Right. You're exactly right.
That
Like they're
they
making that
should.
choice on their own.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. That it makes a difference and makes business sense for them to be environmentally responsible, to be socially responsible, and
it
to have
shows
impact
that
on the world.
industry as a whole can do this
Yes.
if they choose.
Yes.
It's a choice, right? It's not a necessity. It is a choice. So you can choose, I don't care how big the corporation is, to be environmentally sensitive, right?
Yes.
And conscious of everything that's going on, as well as contributing to the good of humanity.
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
And even outside of that, maybe this is a good segue into, you guys have a great base here in Pittsburgh, and pre-COVID, you were doing a lot of events. Maybe you can talk about some of those events that I've heard. There's a couple running events that you guys have done in the past. I'd love for you to speak about that and how that pulls people in so they are philanthropic, participating that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we in 2015 started an ultra marathon in Haiti. It's called a Run Across Haiti. You run across the entirety of Haiti from north to south. It's a 200-mile ultra marathon over the course of 7 days.
Wow.
Richardson's been on the crew of that run for several years now, and have seen many runners come through and crew members who have come through to support the run.
If there's an opportunity to participate and drive it, I'll do it.
Yes. Yes,
I'll
absolutely.
drive. I'm not running,
Yes.
though. I'm not running.
No, we need good drivers on
I'll
this run.
drive.
Yes, yeah.
That's assuming he's a good driver.
Well,
Yeah, right, true.
there's some people who dispute the good driver thing, but
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about the run and your experience with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What struck me during the Run Across Haiti is that seeing people that are coming from Pittsburgh, California, Los Angeles, that I remember I saw two guys that were literally suffering. They have their feet tore. They were torturing themselves. For what? For what cause? For a commitment. Because they know that this sacrifice means a lot for a whole family. That gives me, as a Haitian born,
that's powerful.
that's powerful. It's more
powerful.
determination. If they can do that, what I can do to support.
Yeah.
There's
It's
my
an
hate-
amazing,
when you
amazing
see that,
experience.
yeah, there's no limits then. You know, as a human being, that there are no limits to what you could dream if you want to put in the work and sacrifice to get it.
Absolutely.
Right? So that had to hit you really like right here. I mean,
Definitely. And we appreciated the fact that they came, no matter what, the news over Haiti, but they say, hey, we're going to do it. We want to support. We want to sacrifice ourselves. And when they came, they're not, staying in a luxury hotel.
Right. So when you guys daydream about, obviously the political climate there is very unsettled right now, but when it's back to where it should be, what do you guys daydream about as far as events there? Like what does your organization look like when you can get back there, boots on the ground?
Yeah, so our team, we have a full team there running all of our services right now, but we can't do the Run Across Haiti at this moment. But we're excited to get back to Haiti where we can run across the country again. There's so much beauty in the country to explore, and that there are a couple of there's at least one or two national parks where we really want to do a run there. But the point of the run when we first started it was to show that Haiti's not a country to be pitied or to be feared, that it is a country to be celebrated, and a people to partner with. And so we can't wait to get back there for that. When it comes to our collection work, we're expanding all of our programming beyond Port-au-Prince into the provinces where there is an abundance of amount of material to collect as well. Sure. And so continuing to broadening those partnerships with collection network, but also with brands who are willing to take a chance on a country that has resources for them to purchase, but also significant opportunities to address poverty at a deep level.
Absolutely. And the thing about Haiti is, what we see of Haiti is we see Haiti as just an island slum.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we see on television.
Yep.
Haiti's a beautiful place, as I'm sure you can attest to. There's immense beauty on this island, right? And it's everywhere, not only physically, but in the people. Okay. And I think, Haiti has a history of political upheaval. I'm almost 63 years old, and pretty much for my entire life, what I've known of Haiti is going back to all the way back to the 60s.
Yeah.
There has been political upheaval. And I think that has kept a lot of organizations, companies, individuals away.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you mentioned about the beauty, the physical beauty of the country and the beauty of the people that are living in the country, the hard beauty. So I would like to share this. 2 weeks ago, because of the situation that's being developed in the country, we decided to support the collection center owners that we have working in the landfills and across the country. Because since the facilities, the recyclers are shut down, they can sell the material, so they don't really have cash on hand to continue to purchase material from their collectors. Then there are 12 of them that I have contacted and say, hey guys, we know that the situation is bad for you. Here's what we have to support you. So we would give a stipend to them so that they can stand during this hard time for the families.
Okay, sure.
And those 12 told me, Richardson, we're pretty good right now. We're in a good position where we can provide, food for our families. However, we have other collectors, like people with speakers that's selling the material. It would be great if you could use that stipend and share it to my collectors instead of myself. So they forget themselves.
Yeah.
They think about their collectors, people that they're working with. That's where philanthropists.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
Right?
You're exactly right.
This sense of altruism is way better than what I have for working for more than a decade in the collection that I've never seen. And from 12 center owners, we were able to support 60 collectors.
Wow.
It's like
That's huge.
That's huge.
It gives you chills.
That's
When
unbelievable.
you think about, and these people are suffering as well. I mean, it's not like they're well off, right?
Of course.
But we have enough food to feed our families. We'd like to take care of these people.
Let's take care of these people. So
That's amazing.
that's amazing. And this is what we're doing. We want to
Yeah.
make sure that our collection networks, the families that we're working with, that they understand the work that we do. They know about us. They know Vivien. We mentioned Vivien. Everybody knows Vivien. They might not meet somebody at HP directly. Of course, we had
Ellen.
Ellen
Yes.
came in the landfill,
Yes.
meeting with the center
wow.
owners, the collectors. But they know our programming. That's what's interesting. We're working in full transparency. We can bring back in the day we used to bring any person that is interested to visit the landfill, asking questions to the collectors, visiting the families, and then ask them any question about our programming. They know our plan, they know our commitment, and they know that we're not here just for today. We want to stick around until that they can fly from their own wings.
Now, just for clarity, okay, these people live in the landfill. It's not like they have an apartment or a house and they're going to the landfill to collect the trash. They live there. That's their life. That's where they live. I don't know that really people in a developed country, not even just the U.S., can get their head around
Exactly. I don't think they could understand
right?
that level.
I mean, that is such a harsh existence. When you think that, how do you process that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you see it how do you process it?
Yes.
You
And-
can't.
You can't.
I do have to go splice that out. But definitely add in, I'd love for people to know, maybe, is it on the website about some of these brands or some of these companies that you guys partner with, like how people can know some of these companies?
absolutely.
Make sure we ask that too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm hijacking the podcast.
No, this
I'll
is
see you
great.
guys next week.
Yes, I'll see you next week.
So we'll just go back into
Yeah.
talking about people living in the landfill, because I think that's a powerful visual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you think that children, seniors, everybody literally living in a landfill.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I can't listen, we have a landfill here, and I drive by it, and stuff that runoff and all those things. I can't imagine it. I mean, it's just
But it's still probably a relatively nice landfill in comparison to what we're seeing in Haiti, right?
It's green.
So, it's green.
It's
right.
green. I mean,
right.
It's
Yeah, in the largest landfill in Haiti where we work, in a community called Tritier, about 2,000 people live on this landfill. It's not a lined landfill. It's literally a waste dump.
It's a garbage pile.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
That garbage from all over the country comes to this spot to get dumped. There's no security. There's no fence wrapped around the space to contain the material. The individuals who are living, families who are living there, are living on the dirt ground in this community, just in the peripherals of the dumps themselves.
Right.
And when I think that most Haitians don't even know where it is, where it's located. We have a lot of our team members, when at their first interview, we take them to the landfill.
Okay.
And we say, have you been here before? This is where we work. Let's get comfortable with this, first
Wow.
and foremost. And you're allowed to ask any questions
Right.
you have about the landfill. The people here that we work with will address your questions. But, this is where it is. This is where we work. And this is where people are living. But, I just remember the very first time we met with individual collectors and their families. One of them, who was an 18-year-old young man, I asked him, how long have you and your family lived here? He said 6 years. I said, okay, well, how did you guys get here? Where are you from? And he said, I'm from Cap Haitian, which is about 4 hours away.
Okay.
But when he was young, his parents couldn't find a job. They just looked and looked to find work. They couldn't find a job. They had heard from somebody that you can collect trash in the landfill in Tritier and make an income. So the entire family moved to the landfill
Oh,
because they realized that there is value in waste, that they can make a living here. And they had been living there for 6 years at that point, making an income off of waste material.
okay.
And his proudest moment at that point was telling me that he has been able to send his younger siblings to school. He didn't have that shot.
Right.
He couldn't do it, because
Right.
of the situation his family was in at the time. But because of his work and his parents' hard work, his siblings doesn't have to live the life that he did. Which to me was just one of the most powerful moments of this work.
Right. Right. That's amazing. So from your perspective growing up there, what were you aware of the landfills and when you were growing up?
No,
You had-
absolutely not.
You had no idea.
I even had friends even before working as I was working in a landfill meeting with the collectors. When I say, guys, do you know where the landfills are? Which landfill? What is a landfill? They don't even know what
They
a landfill
don't even know what it is.
So it was like, friend to friend work, and sometimes in my work, take them in my car, going to them. They was like really amazed. They could not believe it that
Yeah.
people were living literally in the landfill.
Yeah.
And the reason of that, as Vivien was sharing the story of this young boy, is that when you're living in a landfill, you don't have to pay for rent. You can
Right,
have just
right.
some roots and then build your shelter. But the shelters in Haitian we say that, in Creole we say li ka pari la pli mais li pa pari soleil but li pa pari la pli. It can protect you from the sun but not from the rain. And
Okay.
earlier, Vivien said that we had families that had to, when
Huddle
it's
in a corner.
raining,
Sure.
yeah, pile up in a corner just to avoid the water of the rain. So it's
And I'm
you
sure
bet-
it rains a lot in Haiti. It's an island.
a lot. And just to connect that with our families and their heart to serve. In 2016, there was like a flooding in the landfill.
Okay.
The landfill is next to the community that's called Menelas, where we have most of our families that we're working in. And then the Trutier community was flooded by a lot of rains, a lot of water.
Okay.
And rapidly, we have a bunch of families that went from Menelas to go to Trutier that were helping those families with trucks of sand to
Nice.
to push the
Okay.
water away.
Yeah.
Bring,
Yeah.
we have some masons that come in, people that help them arrange their houses, their shelters to support these other families. So this connection is really important for our network, that families can connect to other families, can support other families. Community can support each community so that we can move forward in a great connected relationship.
That connection and what I'm hearing from you in particular, that connection at the human level, right? This is a country that can be self-sufficient. The groundwork has been laid. The foundation is there. These people, the Haitian people, can be self-sufficient. This country
Absolutely.
can be functional. The political situation is what's preventing that. It's not that these people don't want to work. It's not that these people,
No.
they can't work. It's they're being oppressed in every sense of that word, right?
Yeah. And, make no mistake about it. Any solution we have implemented, it didn't come from us. It came from the families.
Right.
When it came to that situation, our family said, here's a shopping list of what we need in order to go over to the community and support them. For 3 weeks straight, they rolled their sleeves up, they put their hard hats on and got their shovels and got to work. For 3 weeks straight, they put everything else down in their lives so that they can support their neighbors. All
That
they
is one
asked,
thing.
yes,
Right.
all
We
they
don't do
asked
that
was,
here.
no,
We don't do that here. You know, now in an extreme disaster, okay, people will come together.
Yes.
But not, you know, on that day-to-day basis. It's me. It's I'm me. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. We don't have that connectivity, that human connectivity, that connection that I'm hearing in everything that you guys are saying. It's in everything that you're telling us about, right?
Absolutely.
And that's woven into the story. So this is a country that can stand on its own, that can thrive.
yes, they just want to know that there could be the opportunity and
Right.
that, you know, if they ask for the resources that we can commit to supporting that. Right. And so, like, you know, we're incredibly grateful to have a network of supporters who are willing to come with us on this journey with the model that we have structured in place, and not just say we're going to support once and go away, but
Right.
that if a hurricane hits, if something happens and our families are telling us this is what they need in order to solve the problem today, that we can come to them and say, absolutely, let's deliver on that and let's get it done together. We, you know, that kind of a community, it's taken us 10 years to build, but it's a community that we know will not, they're not going to leave in the hardest of the hardest times in Haiti, you know, and that's how you change the world. That's how you
exactly
transform
right.
and reshape the structures that have existed for so long.
And it takes so little effort to
Yes.
make a difference.
Yes.
Every human can make a difference in another human being's life.
Just show up.
That's it.
Yes.
Be authentic, be
Yes.
yourself, show up and care. That's all you have to do, right?
Definitely.
You know, when you think about the big, you know, one thing we do in this country, and in a lot of countries, I'm sure as well, we focus on the big splash, right? The splash is not what
Yes.
makes the difference. And he's
No.
going to laugh because I say this all the time, but the splash isn't what makes the difference. It's the
No.
ripple.
Yes.
And the ripple is often overlooked.
Yes.
And that's the easy part, right? So, you know, when you think about clean water, clean air, food, clothing, right? Sanitation. These are basic necessities of life that are being denied from an entire population. And it's not just Haiti, let's be honest.
Yes.
There are other countries who
Absolutely.
are enduring a similar thing. But in this particular, with the spotlight on this country, I don't see, what are the barriers other than the politics? If it's more than the politics, what are the barriers that are keeping us from bringing these people, the Haitian people, into let's call it the 21st century. Let's where we're at right now. What do we have to do? What are the barriers to keep us from help providing the quality of life that we enjoy here?
You mentioned it earlier. Haiti is facing some political trouble, and most of the time, it would be coming from the politics, you know, to be well structured the country so that people can come and help. But I do think as well that if we're looking for the right organization, the right people to help, I'm sure that would be able to make a difference. Most of the time, and you mentioned it earlier, people just come in and then think that, hey, you can let just toast thing like this. You have to find the right person, the right organization to work
Right.
with, because from our organization, we really touch the bottom of the problem. We're not just coming in, stepping in and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're working as a partner with the families.
Ground up.
Yeah.
That's how the solution happens.
Exactly.
Right?
They are the best. They are the expert. They are the best to know what they need.
Right.
You
Right.
might be wanting to give away, but is that really what they really need?
Exactly.
You have to know, go to the bottom, to the source, to the roots of the problem. Ask them why where they want us to help them.
Can't solve a problem if you don't really understand it.
If you
Yes.
don't really understand
And
it.
it goes back to like what we just said. I mean, who sitting here could understand what it's like to live that life, right? So how do I fix that for somebody that I don't even understand what that is?
Right.
You know, unless I go down there and live that and feel it and breathe it and taste it and smell it. I mean, there's no way I can't
Right.
fix it,
Yep.
right? So organizations like yours provide me as just an average citizen an opportunity to make a difference in another person's life, right? And I don't have to, there's no heavy lifting. I don't have to, I don't got to fill sandbags or do any of that stuff. From right here, I can help.
Absolutely. And you're helping right now
Yes.
through that podcast.
So, well, listen, this has been so fascinating to me because, your organization and what you're doing and what's happening in Haiti is exactly what we're trying to do here. And I mentioned the live, love, learn, pray, inspire, and that's exactly what we need to do here, right? So, what is in your mind, what is the best way for myself, for Nick, for the average person watching this to get involved with your organization and help? I want to help. Somebody raises their hand and says, "I want to help."
Yeah.
So where are you guiding me? What's your response to I want to help?
Yeah, I think one, join us in learning about what the people that we serve needs.
Okay.
So we
Educating.
Yes. So have an understanding of who our families are, what their needs are, and what are the solutions that they're asking for, and how we are supporting that. So you can learn more about our organization at www.dowork.org. On that website, you can also choose to support our organization financially with a donation, one time or monthly. Because our work is to stick around with our families until they no longer need us. A monthly donation support, $5 even a month, will go a long way in allowing us to sustain that commitment to them and make sure that we can stick around until they no longer need us. And then in addition to that, next week is actually our annual gala, and we're kicking off our year-end fundraising effort. And if you're able to join us, the information's on the website, right on the homepage as well. You can actually stream our event live from our website on that day as well. If you just sign up and get registered, we'll send you the link. But Richardson and I will also be talking a little bit more about the impact of our work from this last year. So we love for anybody to join us.
So where is the gala? Where's it being held?
It's here in Pittsburgh. It's at the Mansions on 5th. In Pittsburgh. Yes.
And the date?
November 2nd, Wednesday, November 2nd at 6:30.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you take sponsorships? So,
We do.
I share this on LinkedIn. A lot of my colleagues in the business community, different companies that I'm connected with, how would they get involved? What kind of sponsorships do you offer?
Yeah. So we have several levels of sponsorships, and they come with a variety of benefits, tickets, in-person tickets to logos on websites, etc. So there's a variety of sponsorship levels available. So, and that's still available.
Excellent.
Yes.
That is great. And I think, just being able to educate the general public, the people, because, you think about you mentioned $5. Okay. If 10,000 people would donate $5,
Yep.
what is the impact that you could have with these people with $50,000?
Yeah. Well,
which is not a lot of money, by the way.
It's not a lot of money, especially with the situation that our families are in, right? But 2 weeks ago now, I think, the Haitian Ministry of Health announced that there are now cases of cholera again, and there hadn't been cases for about 2 to 3 years, So $5 a month would give us the ability to make sure that there's oral rehydration solution available to our families if symptoms arise. And that could be given today's hospital infrastructure. That can be the difference between life or death.
Yes. $5.
Just $5. Yes. Yeah.
$5 can save a life.
Yes, absolutely. And then, the other way to support is supporting the brands that purchase material from us, from our network of collectors. And really, as we talked about earlier, showing that consumer power, demanding and dictating that brands that you're buying from today buy from responsible sources. Because this is just the beginning. There's so much more that we need to do with the waste issue, the waste crisis in the world.
Right.
Utilizing recycled materials, all but one solution, and really one end of the spectrum to even get get our population to begin to understand the magnitude of the issue,
Right.
but also that solutions can exist if we make very small changes in our lives, in our lifestyles, and our purchase power. And so, the more we can support brands who are starting to take the right step in the right direction, I think the more that we can collectively address the bigger issues that are plaguing us in the
Do
world
you have
today.
on the website or anywhere a list of?
Yes, we do.
That's important just in itself, because hearing that, I'm you mentioned HP, but I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to start looking for these products and to support this issue?
Yes,
And I can't get past the $5. I've had bought more than $5 worth of coffee this morning.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So I could have one cup instead of and donate $5, just like that. Bam. So, it's so easy, and that's what I can't get past. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it, but it just stuns me that $5. I mean, I'm almost speechless, and that never happens. Believe me. I mean, it's like I talk for a living, even in my day job, but I don't understand why, everybody is just, literally, right? And it's not, this has got nothing to do with politics, with race, with anything. This is purely helping your fellow human beings.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. Right?
Absolutely.
And
And it's, I always think that it's so easy to be completely overwhelmed by the big numbers that are being thrown out, right? It's going to take millions and billions of dollars to solve poverty, collectively speaking, sure.
Right.
But if we can each give $5 a month and it solves the issues for one person,
that's where it starts.
that's where it starts.
Right?
Right.
You're not going to just wave a magic wand
No.
and end poverty.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Yes. No,
right?
it's
So
not.
there's, of all the problems facing humanity, facing our society, none of them, not one, can be solved just like that.
No.
Right? They're not going to go away.
Right.
So you can sit and you can wish it pretty, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
Right.
And just like our Haitian families, what we like to see is for our network, our communities to say, this is not just the Haitian family's problems. This
Right.
is my problem too. And because it is my problem, here's what I'm going to do about it. Right? Because if we're going to wait for, how long do we wait for those billions to be raised?
Right.
And what do we do in between?
Right.
What happens to the families in between? Right? So like if we can each take our one to do, the one thing we can do today to solve that problem for somebody else,
Right.
the return on that investment is so big. I mean, our very first family member, Mark Noel, he's literally our hero right now. And we've been talking about him so much because the only reason why, with the fuel shortage in the country right now, with the political crisis in the country right now, the only reason why an entire community has food on the table is because of him.
Tell me about him.
Yeah, you want to talk?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Mike Norell is one of our supported family, and he's a hardworking person. Never want to stop at any time. So, as you know, because of what's going on in Haiti, you can have the cash in your hand, but you can't get any food because of the what's going on. People
Sure.
can't really go out to get food because of the boutique that we supported him to get with his beautiful wife Carmita. So he is able to risk his life to get supplies for his boutique so that he can serve the whole community.
It's like a grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
boutique is
Right.
the grocery store.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I got you.
just imagine how hard it would be for our families, how risky it would be for our families to go
Yeah.
out. But we have Mike Norell there, voluntarily want to have
He's
all the
doing
supplies. He's doing it, right? Because he feels that, hey, this is something that I have to do because I owe the community that.
And he's literally risking his life to do this.
Of course. And one other thing, the first time that I made a visit to the landfill with Mike Norell that really struck me is that since he was running his grocery store in Menelas, where we have our families, and we made a visit in Trutier, which is the landfill. And then he was standing up of a pile of trash, and then it was like this. Blurred. So I was like, hey, Mark Noel, what's going on? He said, Richardson, I am thinking about something. I think the grocery store that I have in Menelas, we should have had one here as well to serve that community. And guess what? Couple weeks later, we supported a woman center owner to open a boutique, a grocery store in Trutsier. And that boutique is serving the whole community right now. And in this hard time, it is really critical. It is really helpful to serve all the communities. So this is the kind of connection and how we have our families that really want to support each other and not even thinking on ourselves, but thinking
Right.
of other people that
Thinking of
part
the
their
people
community.
around them, the
Exactly.
man or woman next to them. And this is literally a politically oppressed population who is starving, who is they're sick, they're not through no fault of their own,
Yes.
through no fault or choice of their own.
That's correct.
And it's incumbent upon all of us as humans to get involved in some way. And again, the problem is bigger than Haiti, okay? But we have to start someplace.
Yes. Sure.
Right? We have to start with that one person. And young man, listen, that's thank you for telling us about Mark, but you know, it's nothing short of heroic what you're doing. You know, you are one of the bravest people that I know.
Thank you.
I mean that, and I know a million people, but
you.
your story is so powerful. And you know, Vivien, geez, I mean, you know, this is what you guys are doing. Did you start this organization?
As part of the starting team, yes.
I mean, what motivated you to do that? How did, you know, and we didn't really touch on that, but what was the motivation to start this? What was the connection?
It was really the people, and you know, us getting to know the people and knowing that there is something completely solvable here. That there is something that, by no fault of the families that we serve, they're born where they're born, sometimes in a landfill, into this life. That we have a solution to address holistically and accompany them out of poverty for good. That this model could exist where we can do something really great for the world, and
Right.
not just in this community, but in other communities as well around the world. So.
And you know, this is a tremendous example. So here we are, we're different nationalities, different races, different genders,
Yeah.
but we have a common issue, a common bond that we all should be. I mean, it's connected to three of us, right? We're all interconnected, and it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're in the U.S., if you're in Haiti, if you're in South America, if you're in Canada, if you're in Russia. It doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
We're all connected.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
This is a common problem for us. We have nothing on the surface. You look at the three of us, we have nothing in common. Absolutely nothing, right? But yet, scratch the surface just a little bit, and we have everything in common.
Absolutely.
We're the same.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
So if we get ready to wrap up here, so what, and I'll start with you, Richardson. And I'm incredibly impressed with you, young man.
Thank you.
But what I would like for you to do, what is your kind of parting thought? What do you want the takeaway to be from anybody that's watching this podcast? What personally, from your heart?
I really wish that the audience knew that there is a good organization that is thinking about people. That
All
we're
people.
working with all people, that we're working deeply on the bottom line, looking for the best solution for them, and then working along with them as partner to solve the problem that they are in. And know that we're not here to live tomorrow. We're all here to live until that they are able to fly with their own wings.
That's amazing.
We really want to empower them, make them sure that, hey, they can have a better education for their families, that the kids can go to school, that they can have a roof over their heads, that they can put food on their table, that they can have hope. At this moment, there is nothing important that our families know that, hey, we have their back,
Right.
that they are supported, that we are around. As a takeaway, think about how we're working on the landfill with our families and the communities, and join us in that journey, accompanying us, get to know us, and then we can do that together.
Excellent. Very well said. Vivien?
Yeah, I would love to focus on the people as well, but I love for our audience to understand that Haiti's people don't just look like what they're seeing on the news. Don't just look like what they're reading on the newspaper. They're not just gang members who are inciting violence right now, or politicians who might be corrupt. But there are far more outstanding people like Richardson, like Mark Noel, like our entire team and the families that we serve, like the collection center owners that we work with, who in the toughest of the most challenging times in their lives, they are looking to serve their neighbors. They're looking to serve the person who needs them the most in their communities and not thinking of themselves.
In unimaginable conditions.
Unimaginable conditions.
And they are living in the same conditions of their people that are trying to that they're trying to help. Right? So it's not like, again, they're not coming from someplace else to help these poor people living in this landfill. They are those people.
They are.
Right.
Right.
And our local team doesn't have a time to work. Work from Monday to Sunday, because anytime our families need us, we have to be up and
where there's a need,
ready to go.
Where there's a need. It's hard to think about, and when I think about the most stressful, the most important thing that I have to worry about for the rest of my day, okay, survival's not part of it, right? What am I going to eat? What am I going to feed my family? That's not part of it. That's not something that I need to worry about. Right. So, how can I express gratitude for that blessing to not have to worry about that? And when you think about, waking up every day, just wondering how you're going to get through the day, how you're going to survive, how are you going to feed your family? I can't even imagine it.
Yeah. And you can share that opportunity. All of us who sit on this side of the world and, in a life of privilege can share that opportunity, can ensure that somebody else can have access to that as well. It doesn't take a lot, but it does take a commitment. It does take consistency. It does take saying enough is enough.
Right.
That the lives that we're seeing happening to our families in Haiti today, it's not okay, that we should all step in. There is no limitations to the number of people who can step in at this moment to support.
Right. And it's like you said, it's showing up and standing for your fellow man, fellow humans. Right. And making a stand and drawing a line and saying, this enough. This ends here. It ends with us.
Exactly. And while we all want to look at the news and say, we can't support those political parties, we can't support whatever that's happening that is being shared on the news today, there are so many individuals there that deserve that support, deserve the opportunity to address those issues within their communities themselves. Deserves that opportunity,
and they don't have that.
They don't have that. Yes.
We had it's election season, right? And I'll say this very quickly, but another thing that we take for granted is choice.
Yes.
We have a vote. We have a choice, right? The people in Haiti do not. Okay. Now, we had a debate last night, the election for our U.S. senator. Okay. I hear these things back and forth. This guy's this guy's this guy doesn't do this guy supports this, he doesn't support that. We get to choose.
That conversation
we
is
get
a
to
privilege.
Choose.
Yes.
Exactly. It's a privilege to be able to have that conversation and to make that choice.
Yes.
But yet the majority of this country doesn't vote.
Correct.
Right? Correct. So, I will tell you this, and you guys have made a commitment. I'm making a commitment to you that I will be a resource. I will support you in any way I possibly can. And if you need me to send Nick down there I'll do that too.
We're ready.
But no, in all honesty, this is a very serious subject, and we've tackled serious subjects before. We try to keep it a little bit light, and I think you have to be able to have humor, right? Because one thing that scares a lot of people, has people shy away from things like this, is that it puts a light on. start, maybe it's guilt, whatever it is, and I can't even. Again, I don't struggle to find words, and I am.
Yeah.
But I'm in.
Thank you.
I'm in.
Thank
so,
you.
I
That
mean,
means a lot.
You know, and again, it's like I'm not a wealthy guy. I work for a living, but I can find extra to help.
Thank you so much.
You know, and I think everybody else, and I'm going to reach out to my colleagues and my peers. If I can do it, they all can do it. You know, and a campaign like that is not hard to do. With social media, we can do it. We can touch,
Thanks.
we can touch millions of people through what we're trying to do. But you guys got my attention, and this has probably touched me deeper and harder than any show that we've done, and for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I'm in.
Thank you. And thanks for opening up your heart to us, opening up this opportunity for us to
I am so
share our
happy that
story.
we connected. I really am, and I want us to keep this connection going moving forward. And again, any way that I can participate and I can help. I mean, even if you want to do a campaign and we help lead it, I mean, we're
Yes,
happy to
we
do
would
that.
love
And,
that.
and listen, Melissa she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And I mentioned to you, I don't know why she came into our lives. Nick and I are blessed. I know that because she's something else.
Yes.
And we're lucky to have her. And,
We love her.
You know, wherever we go with this podcast, whatever level we go to, it's going to be because she's helping us. You know, so we show up and do something we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
I
That was
appreciate
great.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll be able to do some more things moving forward.
We would love that. Yes.
would love that.
Absolutely.
We've got ideas, so no shortage
Excellent.
of them, and we'll
And I
definitely
have-
share them with you.
I have people in California too.
Yes.
I have a lot of peeps out there. My
Yes.
family's out there. And
We'll do something in SoCal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks for this opportunity. This was
Thank you for
a
joining
wonderful
us.
conversation, and
Absolutely, I
because of-
enjoyed it.
of
You know,
you.
on top of the issue, you guys are great. You guys are great, and you, young man, listen, I'm gonna tell you, you're impressive.
Thank you.
You're impressive,
Appreciate
and
it. Thank you so much.
I can't think of a better spokesperson to put out there, and try to rally support.
Thank you.
You know, because you're sincere. You're sincere.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thank
No,
you.
you're welcome.
Yes.